everybody, I'm Mary Rose Feldman. Welcome to my studio for free class week. I'm so happy you're here and I'm ready to tangle together and just have a nice moment of gratitude and breath and fun and creativity and everything else that comes with the Zentangle practice and the mindfulness practice that we get to do together. If this is the first time you're doing free class with me, welcome. This is all about gentle tangling and your creativity and uniqueness. So follow along or not follow along. Let your tile speak to you. Let your hand do the tangling the way it likes to do. It does not have to look perfect or like mine. All of it is welcome. For supplies, use whatever you like to use in your tangling and creativity practice. I'm going to have a Zentangle branded tile, but you do not have to have that. I will tell you the size that I'm using, but you can adapt it to whatever size you have in front of you. And same with pens and shading. Use what you love. You do not need to buy anything. This is all about just getting pen to paper in a calm, relaxing, approachable way. I'm trying to keep the videos a little bit shorter and moving along, so I'm going to tangle at my own pace. Just for the size of the video, please pause and enjoy your tangling. If this is going too fast, just pause and enjoy it. I don't want you to feel rushed. That is not the intent of this in any way, shape, or form. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with a moment of gratitude and a little bit of a stretch. If you need to, you could roll your shoulders if that is comfortable for you. Really wiggle your fingers. Little stretch if you need to do a little bit of a stretch. Look around if that feels good for you. Whatever is comfortable. You can make this moment of gratitude as long or as short as you would like. We're just reconnecting our senses. Checking in with how we're feeling. Giving ourselves a moment to just be without any judgment, without any problem solving. Today's affirmation is, I have the strength to endure all failures and successes. A nice deep breath. Come back when you're ready. Okay, there's our affirmation card today from my affirmation deck for those who like to see the card. All right, we are going to practice today our tangle first. Separate sheet of paper. This is not the one I'm tangling on. This is practice paper. And I'm just grabbing a pen just for demoing purposes. Let me get a little focused here. The tangle we're doing is called Sandal. And it is by, I'm forgetting, hold on, let me double check, Akiko Tokyos. Easy tangle, and I think it's going to have a lot of power and adaptability to it. So the first thing I want you to do is make a V, a nice big V. Okay, so points downward. You're going to pick one of the sides, one of the points, right or left. I'm going to start at the point and you're going to do a big printemps fescue type shape. So just watch this. I'm going to start at this point. Imagine where, if you looked at this point down at the bottom and drew a straight line up, where is that? I'm putting a line there just for teaching purposes. You don't have to do it. Just visualize it. You're going to take a curve that kind of hits that center and does a nice big printemps. You're going to do the same thing on the other side, but smaller. So I'm still aiming to kind of kiss that curve, but it's smaller. Now you've got this beautiful space that you're going to aura. And typically you would take that space and color it in. So you could color in the center space, or you could color in the channel. Okay, that is Sandal. Really nice tangle. We're going to play with this though a little bit. I am going to work today on a 5 tile. So this is our bigger tile. It's 5 by 5. So I liked a little bit of space in this, but I'm going to start with a pencil. And what I want to do is a pencil line, a pencil channel across the middle of this. When I do that, I like to turn it this way. So I come down towards me. I'm going to do a pencil line and a pretty wide pencil line. Make this wider. It's maybe an inch. I don't know. I didn't measure it. And in this pencil line, still with pencil, we are going to make a zigzag. So my V's on this zigzag are a little bit narrower than I normally make. So this is all still with pencil. Think of this as our string line. I just happened to end evenly on both sides. I wasn't aiming for that. And then you can grab your whatever pen you want to tangle with. I'm going to use an 05. So I'm going to start on the left, and I am looking at, I'm trying to think, do I want to start on the left? No, I'm going to start in the middle and pick any place in the middle where you have this diagonal line. I'm going to zoom in now. So somewhere in the middle, and I'm looking at this diagonal line right here, because I'm going to trace that in pen, and that's my starting V for Sandal. So just pick one of those V's. Imagine where that center line is. If you came up, you can even put a dot. You're going to make that nice big printemps. You can put a dot there or a teardrop. And then the smaller. Now, here's what we're going to do. Once you have that, turn this upside down. This is one side of my next V. And I'm going to continue with the other, only single. So I'm going to do that again. Here's the V that we just did. I'm turning this upside down. One of my lines is already here, and I'm going to put the left side in, and now I can make another sandal shape. So I'm going to go right side up again. So here's my pair, right? I'm going to move to the right and I'm going to find the next angle like this, which is right here. So essentially you skip 2 triangles. Do the next V. Sandal it out. Turn it upside down. And then when you go to the left, you're going to skip 2 triangles again. So this one can get tricky going to the left. So here's my pair. I'm skipping this triangle, and I'm going to this one. Well, this is the one pointing downward, but I want to do the one pointing upward. So we're skipping 2 triangles. And if they end up touching, or you overlap, or you didn't skip 2, just go with it. Okay, so that's what we have in our pairs. Pretty cool pattern. So the first thing I want to do is on our curves, I want to do a tethered aura and get some weight on these curves. So tethered aura with that highlight in the center. Tethered aura with the highlight in the center. Or it doesn't have to be centered, just some highlight. So see how much more weight that holds when you can thicken up that line. And I think the tethered aura with the highlight is a little bit more interesting than just line weight there. You might be wondering how I decide where to put that tethered aura. Sometimes I'll try to center it, and sometimes I put it in a location where my line might be wonky, and it gives me a chance to just clean up my line a little bit. So I don't try to do exactly the same spot all the time. I let my tangling decide. All right, so this is what we have now. Okay, so what we're going to do is look at the space in between all of these sandal shapes. So I'm up on the top. I have these 2 points. Make sure I'm doing this right. Okay. And what I'm going to do is think about, again, I'm going to think about the middle space in between here. And I'm going to come in and do just a little touching C curve. It's not really a fescue. It's a C curve with a dot at the middle. But I'm trying to have the meeting point somewhat in the middle. And then I'll do a little baby R, tethered R with a highlight. You're going to do the same thing over here, and I will put a dot there as a target. This one dipped down a little bit. I didn't really mean to do that, but if it does, it's okay. Then you're going to turn it upside down and do the same. Oh, and I lost the highlight on that one. And whenever you're done with that, you can take an eraser and erase your pencil lines if you choose. I'm going to do it just because I don't want the pencil lines interfering with things I'm telling you or being confusing. So I'm going to take them away. If I was tangling on my own, I may or may not be erasing. But it really shows you the shape a little bit easier. Okay, pause and come back when you're ready. I'm going to keep going. We are going to make sure what we're doing. Okay, we are going into the V's. So underneath the big pair of fescue shapes that we have, we are going to do a wide aura. So almost coffering in here. And then actually I wanted that to be skinny and then wide, but so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to go skinny here. Got a little bit of ahead of myself. So I wanted a skinny aura and then a wide aura. And we're going to tether those corners. So I'll do that again over here. A skinny aura inside, and then a wide aura. And then tether the corners. So you're going to do that on all of the shapes that are under those big fescue shapes. the sandal, inside the sandal. And turn it upside down and do the same thing. So you have that nice cough ring. And whenever you have that done, you can aura the very inside and color that in. I'm going to grab a thicker pen for that. You don't need a thicker pen, and actually this one's going to be too thick because I lost my detail. So now we've got a little bit of the drama in there. Okay, and when you're ready, come on back. We'll keep on going. Now we're going to work these in between sections. And the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to show you this how it came about. Wasn't sure what I wanted to do in there, so all I did was an aura. So a single aura on the bottom. Again, when in doubt, aura. Wasn't sure where this was going to go. And then I got to there and said, well, I'm still not sure where I'm going to go, so I'm going to aura the edge also. So I aura'd the underneath the small fescues, and then I came into the edges and I aura'd the edges. I like to teach things the way they come about because that's how you would experience in in your tangling. So the thought process I'd like you to hear. And then once I got to there, I thought, well, I've got a beautiful space again, so I might as well coffer. So I'm going to do a wide aura. And then connect all those points. And yes, this one's a little funky because it's a little skewed. I don't mind that though. I just look at the edge and aura the edge that I'm on and line up my point. Okay. So inside of that space, I'm going to go ahead and put printemps, just a really very large skippy line printemps. So I want this to fall back. I don't want this to be super dark. It's just texture inside of that space. So you could see I'm going very, just barely tickling the paper. This is a good time if you have a gray pen. I'm letting this be skippy if it's skippy. This one's a little too light. Okay. All right, so let's get some shading. Once you're done with that, you can grab your pencil. We are going to put shading on all of the coffering lines. So every place that we connected the corners, I'm putting graphite to the left and the right of that line. Okay, now when you blend this out, the key thing you want to think about. So for example, here's my channel. I'm going to blend that graphite one direction and blend it the other. You want to leave the middle bright. So in the areas where you don't have a lot of room, you can't blend your graphite out very far. Just go left and right with flick marks with your tortillon or paper stump. The longer the channel, the more you can blend. But to get the effect, you really have to keep that center third bright. So I blend my graphite a third from one direction, a third from the other direction, and leave the middle third bright. So you can see that it has a little bit of a glow because you've got that middle part kind of bright and cheery. And then the last thing, well, next to the last thing I'm going to shade is the inside edge where the printemps is. We want to recess that section. So graphite all around the edge. This is just simple shading. When you blend this in, same thing, keep that center dark. Don't blend out too far. All of Free Class Week we're doing simple shading. I could do a whole class just on shading tips for tangling, but that's not really the purpose of Free Class Week. So if you ever want more, I have a shading class in my Teachable School, and other deeper tangling techniques in there if you ever want to play further with some of the things we're doing in these classes. Okay, and the last thing I'm going to do, the top and bottom of this tile are plain. So with my graphite on the side, I'm just going to put a layer of graphite right on the edge, top and bottom. And then I'm just going to blend that out just to give me a soft top and bottom. I'm pressing a little bit hard. I'm really pushing that graphite into the paper. Now, you have a lot of white space on here. That is by design. If you want to add more things, you can. The only thing I added on my sample was a couple orbs with a dot. That is an option. There's so many different options that I didn't even do that for class. I just wanted it to be a blank canvas for you to add more of your own touches. Okay, so there's that. Let's go ahead and put in our chop. And sign. And there we go. All right, take a good deep breath. Moment of gratitude. I have not mentioned at all yet about perspective. I hope you're taking your tiles and you're holding them out and you're appreciating what you did, and the breath and the creativity and everything in your tangling and mindfulness journey. That's it for today. I will see you tomorrow for another great tangling session. Have a great night.